today's topic deals with rhythmic values rather than pitch notation. We're going to deal with simple meter. Simple meter is where we're going to deal with a time signature that has a number of beats that would be 2 beats, 3 beats, or 4 beats. We could also actually include a meter with 5 beats in it. But first, I'm going to start with some simple proportions of rhythmic values, and I'm going to use my favorite thing to represent those rhythmic values, and that is M&Ms. Instead of using rhythmic note values, I'm going to start with some simple proportions just to show that any of our rhythmic symbols are really just that. They're symbols. They don't necessarily mean anything until we decide what those proportions are. So different rhythmic values might imply to you or me, well, this quarter note always gets the beat. But that's just not true. A quarter note is just a symbol of relative duration, just like an eighth note or a whole note or a 16th note. It's up to us to decide if that note value represents a beat, or if it represents something smaller than a beat, or something much larger than a single beat. So we're going to use these M&Ms to show the proportions of how rhythmic notation links together. Then we're going to take those M&M rhythms and we're going to put them back into musical notation. So we're going to say today 2 red M&Ms is represented by 1 green. 2 greens are going to be represented by 1 blue M&M. In the space of 1 blue M&M, I could play 2 greens. 2 blues will be able to be taken up by 1 brown M&M. So let's think about this hierarchy of length, how long an M&M could take. The brown is the longest. It takes the space of 2 blue M&Ms. Each blue is green, so now the brown M&M takes up the space of 4 greens. 2 blues, 4 greens. Break the greens into 2 even little pieces of red M&Ms, and now we're going to have 8 that take up the space of the entire brown M&M. 1 brown equals 8 reds, or 4 greens, or 2 blues. Well, they don't all have to relate to the brown M&M. 1 blue M&M is going to take up the space of 4 reds. 4 reds equals 1 blue. I can change out a couple of the reds to a green, and that still takes up the space of 1 blue. And all of those added together actually add up to the space that we put in for our brown M&M. When we break meters up, when we break rhythmic values into even pieces, like 2 blues in 1 brown, we call that a simple meter. Those beats that we're going to keep track of, like 4 green beats, will be able to be broken into even-numbered little pieces, bits of 2. So I've made a time signature here. 4 greens. The top number tells me how many beats. The bottom number or symbol tells me what kind of thing is the beat. In this case, the beat is a green M&M. Now, I could change out any of those green beats for 2 reds because this is a simple meter. The beat breaks into 2 even pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. I could take away another green. Now instead of just saying 1, I would say 1 and to show those 2 even pieces. Like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2, 3, 4. That's a meter that takes up 4 beats where the green M&M represents a beat. So I could replace 2 greens with a blue that will take the space of those 2 greens. 1, 2, 4, and 1 and 2, 3, 4. It took the same amount of time to say the blue as it did to say the 2 greens, but I held my voice out. Now, 2 blues equals a brown. So let's see. 2 blues equals 2 greens. So I could have 2 blues there. Yep, could do it instead of 4 greens. Same amount of time. 1, 3, 1, and 2, 3, 4. Yeah. But I could take away those 2 blues and use a single note value for the whole measure. 1, 1, and 2, 3, 4. That was the same amount of time as 4 greens or 2 blues. Wow, that took up the same amount of relatively proportionate time. So what happens if instead of 4 beats in each measure, I have 3? And you know what? Green M&Ms are not always going to be the beat. Let's make the blue M&M the beat. The beat can be whichever value we want it to be. So there's one measure, 1, 2, 3, and we'll get another measure, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the top number tells us there are 3 beats. The bottom symbol tells us those were blue M&Ms. I can replace a blue with 2 greens, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to try and group them. 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to group those green M&Ms into little beat areas so it's easy to see. You know, I could take out that last blue and do 4 greens. I could replace a green with 2 reds. Yeah, I'm going to replace both greens with reds. Now those are super subdivisions. They're taking up the whole 3rd beat. What was the 3rd blue M&M are now 4 little red M&Ms and the space of the green M&M. So it starts with beat 3. It's going to sound like 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3 E and A. Notice I said the beat 3 and I said the and as well as the extra syllables for the other red M&Ms. Let's do a little more red M&M substitution here. Okay, ready? 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and a 2, 3 E and A. Yeah, okay. Now, instead of M&Ms, what if we want to start using actual note values? We just have to choose what symbol we're going to use for the green M&M. And it doesn't have to be any particular symbol, but I'm going to pick one. Let's say instead of green M&Ms, I'm going to say the green M&M equals a quarter note. Now my time signature could say 4 quarter notes. 4 quarter notes. I'm going to have 4 beats. The top number tells me how many beats. The bottom symbol tells me what kind. Well, we don't write time signatures, unfortunately, like this, although we sure could. I'm going to go ahead and write this out anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4. The green M&Ms are beats. Okay? What about that brown M&M? What note value is the same as 4 quarter notes? A whole note. Yeah. What would this time signature look like in actual notation? Well, I'll get there. But first I want to substitute, oh dear, I think I meant to have 2 red M&Ms there at the end. Yeah, if I did, they'd have to be half the value of the quarter note, half the value of the green. Now, in real notation, we would say this is 4/4 time. The bottom number tells us quarter notes. How? How does 4 tell us quarter notes? Write it as a fraction. 1/4, a quarter, quarter note. Okay. Now, I don't have to choose a quarter note for the green M&M. What if I want to choose something else, like an 1/8 note? Yeah, that's right. The bottom number, if it's an 8, say it as a fraction, 1/8, 1/8 note. The eighth note is now going to be represented by the green M&M. Okay, eighth notes. I'm going to flag them all separately because they're separate beats. If I had 4 eighth notes taking up an entire measure, 4 eighth notes added together would equal a half note for that first measure. Okay. Now, what about those quick red M&Ms at the end of the measure? Oops. Yeah. Fix those M&Ms. There we go. 2 reds. I need 2 things that take up the space of an eighth note. Well, those 2 things would be 2 16th notes. I'm going to beam them together because they are inside the 4th eighth note's place. Okay, bar line. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Same. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Or with M&Ms, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and. How fast it goes really is the choice of the performer. It's not that the eighth notes make me go faster or the quarter notes make me go slower. Now let's work on this meter that has 3 blues. What if we decide to make the blue worth some rhythmic value? It could be worth a quarter note or an eighth note or a whole note or anything, but let's see what we choose here. There are going to be 3 beats in the measure. The top number always tells us how many beats. The bottom number tells us half notes. Okay, we're going to choose half notes. How would I write that in actual notation? That would be, well, I would have to find a way to make it a fraction. 1/2. Yeah, so the bottom number would be a 2. That's how I'm going to say 3 2 time. Each blue is worth a half note, getting the beat. So I'm just going to jump ahead and fill in those half notes wherever I see them. Okay, I need something that takes up the space of a half note but is broken into 2 pieces, like 2 greens. What would that be? Instead of a half note broken into 2 pieces, I would have quarter notes. Green M&Ms are quarter notes. How do I break those into 2 pieces? Eighth notes, yeah. The third beat is going to be 4 eighth notes. There are 4 eighth notes in a half note. And I've beamed them together here because they all fit inside beat 3. They're in the umbrella of the third beat. 1, 2, 3. 1 and a 2, 3 E and a. Okay, well, what if I don't want to write half notes? I now say, okay, the beat is going to be a 16th note. This might use up a lot of marker juice, but it doesn't mean that we're going any faster. You can see that it's a 16th note because we say a fraction, okay. So I'm going to write 16ths, each flagged separately because they're separate beats. 1, 2, 3. And I could jump ahead and fill in that other 16th note. And then I'll have to figure out what note value takes up 2 of them in a 16th note, or half of a 16th note. Well, the green M&M is going to have to be half of the 16th, 32nd note. And the ones that are quicker than that, okay, 32nd note. The red M&Ms, 64th notes. That's about as fast as our notation really usually goes. So in the space of 1 16th note, those 4 red M&Ms are going to be 4 64th notes. That's a lot of marker juice. But it's not going to go necessarily any faster than the one with the half notes. Watch. 1, 2, 3. 1 and a 2, 3 E and a. 1, 2, 3. 1 and a 2, 3 E and a. 1, 2, 3. 1 and a 2, 3 E and a. Tempo, or speed, is really relative, just like the note values, the rhythmic values, are also relative. Now, when we've used 3 beats per measure, like 3/2 and 3/16, we can call that meter by the name of how many beats it is. So it would be a triple meter. Okay, 3 beats is triple meter. 3/2, 3/16, 3/4, 3/8. 4 beats is a quadruple meter, like 4/4, 4/8, 4/2. If we had 2 beats per measure, I didn't show you one of those, but that would be duple meter. 2/4, 2/8, 2/16, 2/2. Cut time is a duple meter. I mentioned before that we split the beats into even pieces. That makes it a simple meter. 1 and, 2 and, 3 and. Simple meters. So we had simple quadruple meters today. We had simple triple meters. Wherever we split beats into 2 even pieces, it's a simple meter. So these time signatures have 2 words, quadruple and simple, triple and simple, duple and simple. Things that are in the duple simple family would be anything with a 2 on the top to show us that it has 2 beats, and then whatever number represents a rhythmic value on the bottom. 2/4 has 2 quarter note beats. 2/16 has 2 16th note beats. Or a triple simple meter, like a 3/2 meter, or 3/4 or 3/8, has 3 beats in every measure. The quadruple simple meter has 4 beats in every measure. 4 is the top number every time. And whatever rhythmic value we choose for the bottom, 4/2, 4/8, 4/16.